Your skin is pale white and ice cold.
When I could explain that. My shower was broken and it was early and I forgot that we had no hot water.
This pool is small. Give me a bigger pool, you stupid floaty. Give me a bigger pool.
Mylers is about to wrap filming on the Hannah Montana movie and does not plan on playing Hannah until she's 30, but she'd like to do it for 2 more years.
My name is Shane, and my whole purpose, or my whole reason for being right now, is to take you guys away from all your bullshit and all your problems and all the drama in life for at least 5 minutes while you watch one of my videos. Make you happy.
Congratulations on 1 million subscribers. You are awesome.
So first things first, yes, I am totally in a Shane Dawson TV t-shirt.
And the streamy goes to Shane Dawson. Yeah!
YouTube talent and television are coming together in lots of interesting ways these days. One is with a star by the name of Shane Dawson, who's very big online.
I cannot believe that there's a billboard in Times Square.
Shane Dawson is a YouTube personality. He's got like over 10 million subscribers to his YouTube channel.
Shane Dawson. This guy is a major deal in the world of social media.
Oh yeah.
Joining me now is Shane Dawson. In 2010, he was named Forbes magazine's 25th most famous web celebrity with 1.5 billion views and over 12 million subscribers. He's one of the world's biggest YouTubers.
Shane Dawson, who of course has released massively successful docuseries after docuseries. Tens of millions of eyes will be pointed in Shane Dawson's direction.
Shane Dawson!
Shane Dawson's collaboration with Jeffree Star has turned out to be one of the biggest internet events of the year.
The hardest thing to get. Like, they literally have broken the internet.
Shane released his online merch store, and within minutes, it was completely sold out.
Shane Dawson is one of the most popular YouTubers, if not the most popular YouTuber on the entire platform right now.
Why has this worked?
I think it works because it's genuine, you know, I'm honest and my videos are funny and crazy. There's always a message to it. And it's what teenagers relate to. It's what they want to watch.
Who watches? What age group?
I mean, I'd say between 12 and 18 is the biggest.
It's so weird that the teenage girls that I've been catering to, they are so graphic and sexual and crazy.
I mean, he used me for a lot of content, but looking back, there were definitely, obviously, a lot of like really inappropriate bits that he would use about me and my body. And
really?
Yeah.
Her managers filed a cease and desist on that video. If I had a stalker come to my house and threaten to me and my family and anybody who I got in a relationship with, and then here's this music video that pretty much says that exact same thing, I'm gonna be fucking scared.
I'm gonna fight that and I have you guys behind me. Tweet Taylor Swift and say, hey Taylor, what happened? Did you not like the video? I don't understand.
You're so used to working by yourself. Challenge to work with other team?
No. I'm just saying, I'm not taking anything out of the movie to please a bunch of out-of-work actors in Pittsburgh who should be lucky to get an audition for a feature film.
Who's asking that?
Shopify.
Fix it!
Cool.
I've never yelled at you guys that I don't know.
I've been yelled at.
I think I made a really entertaining movie, and I think I made it for my audience. Somebody out there is a rat, and they're going around saying this is the raunchiest movie ever made, and it's pissing me the off. I don't know who's talking. I will I don't rip them off, put my hand in the open area where their used to be, go all the way through their body, go out their ear, and do one of these like they think they're getting hugged, but they're not. They're getting full body.
Are you a kind of wild guy?
What?
He does this every time.
Oh god. Spit in his mouth.
You are disgusting.
I don't do that. That's gross. It's disgusting.
It's so sad. They only knew the real you.
Shane Dawson, I am disgusted by you sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister.
Do you know other YouTubers?
Yeah. And I was maybe 19 and he was probably honestly 15, I don't know. I made a really, really gross joke about him or something because I thought it was going there.
Right.
And then he blocked me.
I really don't like the idea of this.
Well, we're doing it.
Are you stop?
We're doing it.
Why are you crying? Oh no.
He even made a video lying about why our friendship ended, and I was bullied, doxxed, and received many threats and
threats from his fans.
Shane was known to be like the meanest person back in the day. Like he was just mean. Like Shane's a talker. He talks about everybody. If you call everyone in your life a sociopath, like there might be also something like, you know, an issue with you at the core.
She is the one celebrity I would punch in the head. I would punch her through the head.
This is like
my favorite? Loud Jew. What about that one?
The plan was, she's fat and she's ugly, you're cute, you're gay, and you're actually funny. He sat there and let this make her into Aunt Jemima. Let this slather her in butter and syrup on TV.
Oh, Shane, you got problems. Okay.
You know when one of your favourite creators just kind of gets exposed and they are the complete opposite of what you perceive them to be? It's such a terrible feeling, and you almost feel like you've been betrayed.
So you're embarrassed by that?
I'm not embarrassed because I'm proud of everything I've done.
Did you create the monster, or was it always there?
no, it's always there. You guys are just seeing it now.
Well, hello. My name is Chris and welcome back to my channel. Today, we embark on our list of 100 reasons why the internet regrets Shane Dawson. I feel quite confident compiling these listings because I've been following Shane closely from the very beginning of his YouTube career and throughout the following years of his undeniable success. As concerning and downright cringeworthy as it is to look back on now, when I was a teenager, I definitely grew a bit infatuated with Shane. When looking at my screen, I merely saw a handsome but insecure, down-to-earth guy who had a very difficult past but found success doing what he loved, all to go on to help take care of his family and group of cool friends. However, as Shane's popularity and opportunities grew, I simply began growing out of him, and then upon further discovery, I realized that he was simply not who I thought he was, and felt not only disgusted, but betrayed. After a couple different rebrands, however, he eventually branched out into spooky content, conspiracy theories, and documentary-style multi-parters that just took the internet by storm, and admittedly reeled me back in. While the vast majority of other YouTube channels inevitably fizzled out into irrelevancy, Shane was always able to stay prominent against all odds. I will always give credit where it is due, and Shane did indeed become one of the most powerful people on this platform. Until the summer of 2020, which brought his most intense and notorious cancellation, where everything he had done was dug up and brought to the surface all at once. This then led to another apology video, followed by a year-long hiatus, and many content creators who were once supporters of Shane were changing their tunes. Shane has since returned, of course, and although his numbers are not what they once were, he is still undoubtedly successful. And if you are a current supporter of Shane, that is entirely your decision, but I still recommend you watch this, because even I, who was once one of his biggest fans, found things that I had never seen, and that I really wish I didn't see. In a recent podcast with Katie Morton, the overall consensus seems to be that Shane's cancellation was an overreaction during a very stressful time in the world. Were people merely exaggerating and falling victim to mob mentality and cancel culture? Can we just not take a joke? Is Shane really the humble, sweet guy he puts forth? Or is he, as his former friends say, a monster? Prepare for a very deep dive into the darkest depths of Shane's past. I'm warning you now, it is not for the faint of heart. Making this series is not easy, but I feel that it has to be done. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Getting his family and coworkers fired. Let's kick off this list with the very beginning of Shane's YouTube career. So early on, in fact, that he still had a normal job. Shane worked for the weight loss company Jenny Craig, alongside his mom Teresa and brother Jared. During his introduction video, Shane explained that he was going to be taking his camera to work the next day. His brilliant idea of filming a YouTube video at work, seemingly on the clock, shockingly did not end well. The video featured Shane and his various co-workers, one of whom being Shane's direct inspiration for his character Aunt Hilda, reading the most not safe for work passages from Valerie Bertinelli's book Losing It, as she was a spokesperson for the company at the time. The company was, astonishingly, not pleased once they caught wind of this video going around. And not only did they fire Shane, but they also fired his mother and brother. And then, on top of that, They went on to fire every other coworker who made an appearance in the video. Shane immediately reported back to YouTube, announcing this very unfortunate event to his audience in a video titled, in all caps, "YouTube got me fired." And although he was certainly not thrilled, he really didn't show much remorse for the several people whose livelihoods were now in jeopardy due to his poor judgment. Because if that were me, I'd be far too devastated and ashamed to immediately talk to a camera. Shane merely claimed that things could be so much worse. Well, as we all know, Shane ended up just fine. That very video got the attention of the head of partner programs, and nearly 1 year later, Shane was making his thank you video for surpassing 1 million subscribers. Did he contact those coworkers and send them a check though? Shane continued to bring the story up in numerous interviews since then, as part of his humble beginning story of triumph arc, implying that they all got fired for a reason and whatnot.
So at what point did you realize you could actually make this into a business and quit your job?
Well, I got fired from my job because I made a video at work.
Oops.
Yep.
There are some rules out there, right?
Yeah, we might have been pole dancing, me and a couple 80-year-old clients. And it actually was pretty scary because it got me, my mom, my brother, and 6 other people fired.
Oh, that's insane.
I
But
know.
was it worth it?
Those 6 people might be like, nope. But for me and my family, you know, it gave me the motivation to actually pursue YouTube full time and really put all my effort into it. And I'm really happy that I got fired.
Now, to be fair, I understand that he didn't intend for that to happen, but he never seemed to take the proper accountability for his piss poor decision and just used the situation to victimize himself. In his recent sit down with Katie Morton, he brought this up again, and this time he finally explained it in a more appropriate manner, claiming that he still carries guilt over it to this day. Gee, if only Shane was a millionaire or something. But I guess there's nothing he can do. Number 2, creeping out Fred. Not long after losing his job with Jenny Craig, Shane uploaded a Fred parody. For those of you who may be too young to remember, because I'm getting old, Fred was a YouTube phenomenon in 2008. Fred Figglehorn was a hyperactive, very high-pitched character played by Lucas Cruikshank. The character grew so much in popularity that he even ended up on Nickelodeon. Anyway, in 2008, Shane's Fred parody became his most viewed video at the time. It included Shane's Fred getting kidnapped and tied up, attempting to pee in his own mouth, and getting shot multiple times by Shanae. During a later interview on Hey Queen, Shane decided to share what he thought was a good story involving a predatory interaction between the two that would have not been long after the parody. Shane was around 19 or 20, making Lucas around 14 or 15. Shane claims that while Lucas was visiting Hollywood with his sister, he and Shane began talking online one late night. Lucas allegedly invited Shane to his hotel room to hang out, perhaps to film a video together or just chat, who knows. Shane then admits that he told his mom, "I think Fred is trying to f*** me," to which Teresa allegedly responded, "I'll drive." Shane then made a very gross joke about blowing him or something because he thought it was going there. So was it a joke, Shane? Or did you think it was going there? Which one is it? Lucas then immediately blocked Shane entirely. The two would go on to collaborate years later, but that particular instance was insanely inappropriate, as Shane was an adult and Lucas was a child. Hey Queen has seemingly removed Shane's interview from their channel, but during said interview, everyone in the room thought that Shane's story was just hilarious. Shane has been inappropriate with many YouTubers who are minors, and we will surely cover all of them that I know of, because believe me, this is only the beginning. Number 3, attempting to diagnose Jake Paul. In September of 2018, Shane was coming off of a high, having just finished his first 5-part Jeffree Star series, which was highly acclaimed. To follow that up, he decided to make another series in that same style, this time diving into the life of Jake Paul. People were already skeptical and disinterested because Jake Paul was...
Oh yeah, there you go. Someone get marshmallows. Kate, get marshmallows.
Oh my god, bro, it's spreading.
I mean, I think it's fine. Hey, Erica! Erica, hi!
A piece of shit who should not be rich and famous, but is. However, it was a Shane Dawson series, so maybe there would be some redeeming qualities within. Perhaps Shane could uncover the real Jake Paul. So, episode 1, titled The Mind of Jake Paul, premiered on the 25th, and it was basically a very long-winded introduction to the series. Also note that Shane and Andrew were editing one episode at a time, so the upcoming episodes were subject to change. Episode 2, The Dark Side of Jake Paul, followed shortly after, ironically sponsored by BetterHelp, which is not only a controversy in itself, but also hilariously awful considering what I'm about to tell you. In this episode, Shane decided to shift the focus onto Jake Paul's mental health and try to discover if he was indeed a sociopath. There is so much wrong with that. For starters, it was just in very poor taste, as Shane was editing this more sensitive subject matter very poorly at times. Shane was also criticized for featuring and utilizing Katie Morton, who he basically turned into a side character for a few of his projects, because Katie is a licensed marriage and family therapist. Therefore, people thought she may be teaching about conditions outside of her wheelhouse. She also frequently used terms like gross, creepy, and icky during their discussion, which is incredibly unprofessional. Oh, we'll be seeing Katie on this list again, rest assured. But ultimately, what she was saying about sociopathy wasn't necessarily incorrect, it was just overly simplified and lacked nuance, painting it as nothing but dangerous and fear-inducing. And while there is certainly a very dark side to it, not all people who live with it are serial killers. I work with the public. I deal with clientele who exude these traits constantly, but because Shane lives in such a privileged bubble, it's horrifying to him. After the backlash, Shane did apologize in episode 3 for editing mental illness like a horror film, but alongside his claim that the reason he edited it so scary was so that people would watch it, and that he wanted people to watch it so that they would know the sociopathic signs to look out for. It was for the greater good, guys.
People are mad at me for talking about it, but it almost makes me even more happy I talked about it, because I'm like, you know what, if I would have known when I was 12 to watch out for certain things, I probably would have gotten away from fucking a lot of people that fucked me over. So I'm fascinated with this shit. So I'm not gonna keep apologizing because I am fascinated by it. I'm sorry if you were offended.
I have to end this listing with them officially labeling Shane as an empath and a fixer, because all he wants to do is help people. However, the more Shane would help people, the worse his mental health would get. He was just helping people so much and putting everyone else before himself. Aww. Poor fella. Let me wipe your tears with one of the millions and millions of dollars you have made exploiting people in videos like this. I have no sympathy left for this man if you couldn't already tell. In my humble opinion, if helping all of these people over the years wasn't profitable to him, he wouldn't have done it. Number 4. Criticizing Jake Paul for marketing to kids when he did exactly that. This one piggybacks onto the previous listing, but the hypocrisy of this one grinded my gears so much, I had to give it its own listing. In the final episode of this 8-part series titled Inside the Mind of Jake Paul, Shane had to try to wrap this series up somehow. And for a portion of this episode, Shane decided to criticize Jake over the fact that he had a very young audience, and frequently promoted his merch to said audience for monetary gain. Excuse me, sir. Shane Dawson has done this throughout his whole career. Now, in 2025, the majority of his audience has grown up, so to say that he still has a primarily underage audience may be inaccurate, thank God. However, for the first decade or so, it was factual that the majority of his viewers were very young, teenagers, preteens, and some even younger than that. And Shane has had so many merch releases over those years. He had shirts in Hot Topic, along with a plethora of t-shirt lines on various websites. He even dedicated segments of his videos to feature and react to photos of viewers wearing his merch. And because so many of his viewers were young girls who desperately wanted his attention, this likely pushed his merch sales. Shane sold sunglasses, he released music that his fans bought on iTunes, he wrote 2 books that he promoted and profited heavily off of, and at the book signings, we clearly saw that the fans were way too young to be reading his nasty memoirs. Now, don't get it twisted. Jake Paul's Christmas music video about his merchandise was awful, and I don't condone it. But Shane made entire short films that solely promoted his books. Despite Jake's video being far more ridiculous and blunt, the goals were still the same. And then came the bloody makeup palette, where Shane acted so insecure and scared that no one was going to buy it, in my opinion, manipulating people, all for his line to completely sell out within seconds, likely purchased by a cornucopia of teenagers. And keeping the momentum going, Shane released more and more merch, both with Jeffree and on his own site. I would also like to bring up that when they were first planning the makeup line, and Shane asked Jeffree how much money goes into his pocket after releasing just one palette, to which Jeffree calculated around $20 million, you can just see the dollar signs in Shane's eyes. Then, when Jeffree's team revealed that Shane could have made so much more money on his previous merch than he did, he began spiraling. Because despite him already being a millionaire, Shane will always try to victimize himself when an opportunity arises. So the man stumbled into the bathroom, crawled up into a ball, and started crying, or at least pretended to for sympathy. All in his $900 Balenciaga hoodie. I don't want to hear it, Shane. But wait, there's more. Even after already being a millionaire, and then making millions more off of his makeup line, in current day, 2025, Shane wants you, yes you, to pay him $8 a month through Patreon. Let's move on because me and my 6th bowl of ramen noodles this week are about to get very triggered. Number 5. The Disneyland brick incident. Shane has been very much into theme park content lately, which I have no problem with. I am quite fascinated by that realm myself, and have even made theme park content on this channel. However, one recent theme park investigation caused a bit of a stir. In the video Disneyland Conspiracy Investigation, uploaded on March 2nd, 2025, Shane and his producer Spencer had concocted a detailed plan in which the whole crew could take part in investigating the conspiracies while visiting the Disneyland park, with a custom map and all. Okay, this could be fun. Well, after 27 minutes of introduction, endless excruciating filler to make the video longer, and of course, a sponsorship segment, the crew finally arrived at the damn park. In Shane's Cybertruck, of course. They conducted experiments, like testing the drinking fountain water, and hugging the poor minimum wage soul in the Mickey Mouse costume for a very uncomfortable length of time. But the Disney hack in question here was the secret loose brick that Disney adults had discovered and started leaving notes underneath and whatnot. However, one must protect the Disney secret and stay as low-key as possible when trying to experience the brick. Well, Shane and his crew did the exact opposite of that. They crowded around the brick in broad daylight, becoming a hazard for the heavy foot traffic, not even trying to be discreet in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they were being so loud and obnoxious trying to get this damn brick out that people walking by were looking at them, wondering what the hell they were doing. Then, somehow, an employee noticed them and told them that they needed to refrain because they were destroying property. To which a 36-year-old Shane responded, "No, I thought you were allowed to." Graciously, though, instead of kicking them out, the employee told them to have a good time. Although this incident is seemingly not as serious as some of the other things on this list, it still pissed people off. Because after Shane posted this video, a lot of his fans were commenting that the employee was rude and should be fired. Jenny Nicholson even tweeted about this event, saying, quote, "That idiot Shane Dawson made a conspiracy video about Disneyland, and now his equally stupid fans are ruining the life of a poor employee who was just doing her job because he decided to leave in her name and face and imply that she was part of a conspiracy. Go to hell, Shane Dawson." End quote. Well, damn. Number 6. Joking about Eugenia Cooney's ED. So, like I mentioned, I've noticed that Shane likes to victimize himself a lot. In my opinion, as a defense mechanism and possibly a manipulation tactic as well. For those who may be unaware, Shane was obese growing up and lost over 100 pounds very quickly after he graduated high school. He continued to struggle with EDs throughout his YouTube career and filmed various heart-to-hearts with his audience talking about his struggles with body image. even claiming to not take part in YouTube Rewind one year because he wasn't happy with his appearance. All for his audience to flock in with endless compliments gushing over how handsome he was. Now, I am in no way shaming him for what he has gone through or any body disorder he may have or still has, because I have also struggled with these things all my life. I just don't victimize myself with them. And I certainly wouldn't make insensitive jokes about the bodies of people who are supposed to be my friends. One of the many hypocritical things about Shane is that he will whine about his body to his audience throughout his entire internet existence, while scattering preachings about body positivity and acceptance as one of the positive messages he throws in at the end of his weird skits to justify it, all to make incredibly distasteful jokes about Eugenia Cooney's body on multiple occasions. Here you go.
Not just chocolate. Alright, you know what? I'm okay with that. It's like a nice palate cleanser. That's my goal for like 2017. Just skin and bones. If you want to do a YouTuber costume, this is you. Right.
Why? I don't get it. Because they're white.
I was gonna say.
Shane!
There you go.
No, my thing is like sucking in your stomach as hard as you can to the point that you look uncomfortable. People commented on my Instagram all the time. The other day, someone commented in quotations on a picture, "Take the fucking picture, Becky, I can't breathe."
Well, you don't know struggle till you've taken a picture standing next to Eugenia Cooney, bitch.
I don't know what that is or who that is.
He wasn't laughing though, when he chose to use her name for views in his documentary video about her. Was he laughing rolling in all the money it made? Was he laughing when she relapsed shortly after his video and he never said another fucking word about her? Interesting. To be clear, do I believe that he intended to hurt her progress with the video? Absolutely not. But do I believe that he was prioritizing his content first and foremost without giving enough thought to the possible negative outcome of his idea? Yeah. Fear not. I will get into the incredibly bad timing of Shane's distasteful documentary about Eugenia later on in its own listing. And I also plan on making entire videos about Eugenia on this channel. Eventually. I'm working on it. To conclude this listing though, there are even clips where Shane has commented about the appearances of Drew Monson, Garrett Watts, and Lauren Schnipper, people who, in my opinion, Shane thought he had power over. Because Shane can joke about whatever he wants, but God forbid anyone comment on Shane's weight. He will use that to victimize himself into oblivion. Despite having a therapist, a personal trainer, endless disposable income, and so many resources that most of us don't have. Sorry, but once again, I don't want to hear it. Number 7. Acting inappropriately with Rebecca Black. In 2011, an oddly obscure and slightly unsettling music video for a song called Friday spread across the internet like wildfire. And the star of said video, 13-year-old Rebecca Black, immediately became the butt of the joke and experienced relentless bullying because of it, both online and in person. Luckily though, she always handled it all in a very mature and dignified manner, and with her resilience, she was able to find much more success outside of Friday, and has gone on to create her own music, which is far more well received. When she started her YouTube channel, she was collaborating with quite a few people, one of whom was Shane Dawson. Before ever meeting, Shane and Lisa would comment on Rebecca's mature appearance, specifically her bust size, on multiple occasions. Shane had her on as a guest for the very first episode of his podcast, Shane and Friends. Then, when Rebecca was 15 years old, Shane invited her over for a collaboration, in which she would be interacting with his character, Shanae. In these awful Shanae videos, Shane really tried to push the guest to act inappropriately or say crazy things. The video opened with Rebecca being bound and gagged, for starters. Then Shane tried to get Rebecca to answer questions about drugs and sexual acts, and then act out the Holocaust in a game of charades. Luckily, Rebecca was not having it and stayed silent almost the entire time, despite literally everything coming out of Shane's mouth being so awful and unfunny. The poor girl just sat next to him, clearly so uncomfortable and miserable, probably wondering what the hell she got herself into. They end this masterpiece with a bad Shanae makeover and Shane asking Rebecca to twerk with him. Again, 15-year-old girl, man in his late 20s. Almost a decade later in 2023, While on the H3 podcast, Rebecca commented about her past experiences with Shane, saying that although she personally never felt unsafe with him, he clearly used her for content, and the jokes he would make about her body made her very uncomfortable. But she was just so used to being the butt of every joke at the time that she just took it. She also confirmed that she knew nothing about the script prior to the video collab, which was very evident due to that look on her face throughout it. Number 8. Viewer orgy time. Shane wasn't only trying to get YouTubers in on the fun, he loved collaborating with his audience as well, composed primarily of underage girls that thought they were in love with Shane and fought for his attention. Well, now is their chance to do just that with this new, horrifying series. Viewer Orgy Time was a series in which Shane would ask questions to his audience across his various platforms and share his favorite answers in each episode once a week. Before I get into what kind of questions he was asking these children, I'm going to play the theme song for you. I apologize in advance.
Grab all your condoms, take off all your clothes, shave your private parts, orgy time's about to start. Spread your legs, open wide, get some lube and shake your thighs. Here comes Shane Dawson, the guy who knows how to blow your mind.
Indeed, that was fellow YouTuber Onision who helped him with that theme song, and his lore is enough to be its own series, although I'm not sure if I have the strength for that. But regardless, I will give the sliver of credit that is due and say that Onision was one of the first to speak out regarding Shane's inappropriate comments about children. However, no one took him seriously at the time because he himself had exhibited a plethora of his own inappropriate behaviors with underage girls. I will likely elaborate on those red flags further later on. But for now, we must turn our attention back to this Q&A segment from hell. Shane said that this series was to strengthen the interaction and connection with his audience. My theory is that they were just easy content to get out fast. But I digress. Shane would kick things off with a question like, what celebrity would you like to kill and how would you do it? He would show photos of his child viewers wearing his merch and then make sexual comments. He would then ask for particular photos on Daily Booth, a popular website at the time where people would post photos and people would reply with their own photos. Let's see what Shane was asking for. Show me your crotch. I'm filming a porn and you're the star. Show me your best move. Show me your face. Show me your orgasm face. The things that we'd let this man get away with for so long make me ill. He would then end each episode asking for viewers to caption a funny photo. In this episode, he put a photo of a nude baby on the screen, uncensored. Any censoring you see at all in this video is likely from me.
Alright, on Daily Booth I asked you guys to show me your best porno move. Here's some of the sexiest ones I could find. Now that is talent. Wow, if I could do this, I would probably never leave my room. Ooh, baby, don't tease me. Oh god, do you think I could get my account deleted for asking these kind of questions? The worst is when I get pictures from like 10-year-olds who are really getting into it. I don't want to put those on this video because I don't think I can. Either way, I'll see you in hell.
Number 9. Filming his grandmother on her deathbed. Some of you may not have been watching Shane around this time, but I remember this video clear as day. Now, I thought for certain it must have been deleted forever, but I found a copy of it. And although I will be censoring the ever-loving out of it, I always need to show receipts to give context as to what I am saying. Shane was very close with his grandmother, and she was even featured in some of his earlier videos. And when she was in the hospital on her deathbed, Shane was obviously devastated. He began filming a short vlog in the bathroom, crying, telling the camera, "I think this is it." Now, I am in no way criticizing him for feeling sorrow and grief, as that was certainly a tragic time for him and his family. What I am criticizing, however, is Shane filming his grandmother on her deathbed and posting it to his YouTube channel. So, Shane said that he wanted to film her a little bit so he could have something to remember her by. And he justified this by saying how much he knew his audience loved his grandma as well. But am I crazy for thinking that this is crazy? Why not keep that video for yourself if you so wished, and make a more tasteful tribute montage for your YouTube audience? Why would they want to see her in a hospital bed on oxygen, unresponsive? Now, people did respond, sharing their condolences with Shane and even making their own tributes for her. His viewers really did care. But I in no way think that they needed to see this extremely personal moment between them, as it was far too morbid to post to the public. His grandma was far too weak and vulnerable to give consent to such a thing. But Shane assured his audience that it's what she would have wanted. Number 10. Editing serious topics distastefully. In between the long-winded series regarding YouTuber dramas, Shane was also stepping his game up with the conspiracy theory content. These also garnered millions upon millions of views for his channel. The theories covered ranged from silly and just for fun to the end is upon us and trust no one. Either way, they were entertaining. A lot of creators criticized Shane for producing content about conspiracies in general. However, the one that I would like to point out is Investigating Conspiracies with Shane Dawson, uploaded in February of 2019, in which Shane wanted to dive into 3 mysterious subjects in one video, and edit it in a way where the video would ping from one subject to another throughout, which would be perfectly fine if all 3 investigations were on similar levels of severity, but they weren't. And the way that these topics were intertwined together in editing made Shane look insincere and inconsiderate to the more serious subject matter. Let me explain. One theory included testing out a voice replicator. The second story involved one of Shane's oldest friends and her newborn baby almost getting sold. And the third was about Chuck E. Cheese pizza slice crusts not lining up. Do you see why this is not the best creative decision? One of these things is not like the others. Brittany Louise Taylor has been on YouTube just as long as Shane, and helps him with many of his earlier projects. After a while, their collaborations ceased, and I remember wondering if the two were even still friends. But after Shane hired Andrew, and the two began producing more serious content, perhaps Shane saw an opportunity here. Now, Brittany's story is horrifying. I read her book years ago and recommend you do the same if you are interested in hearing about the story in more detail. But in short, she began dating a man she met on Tinder in 2015, fell in love with him, lost her virginity to him, got impregnated by him, and was engaged to him, all within a very short time period. All to find out that her fiancé and father of her newborn child was not the person he said he was. And in the end, her and her son were almost trafficked. It undoubtedly could have held a full-length video of its own, and everyone would have been invested. Shane dedicated entire series solely to much dumber subjects like TanaCon and Jake Paul. To be fair, Shane mentioned in the video that her situation was far more serious than he was expecting, but that's also his fault for not doing the research. He even shows us that he had bought her book, but I guess for some reason he never read it? What a great friend. And when Brittany talked about the fact that her and the baby were almost trafficked, Shane didn't seem to know what that even meant.
Every police officer that we've talked to say, don't get a passport, don't leave the country. Like, they're almost positive they're going to try to traffic us.
What does that mean?
Like human trafficking, like sell us. Like sell Rex, sell me.
To who?
Whoever wants to buy us.
Side note, Brittany was one of the few influencers to stand up for Shane during his 2020 cancellation. She is clearly a very loyal friend to him, despite them being estranged. But sure, let's take a clip of her crying, talking about being physically harmed by her fiancé while 7 months pregnant, and then immediately cut to Shane playing with the stupid voice app on his laptop. Now let me show you another actual cut in this video so you don't think I'm exaggerating. I have not edited anything.
Oh God, I hate him. Don't put that in. Because I can't look like I hate him, but I do.
What do you mean?
Because he's just a monster. But okay, so
they literally say, no frozen dough, no microwaves. Your freshly made pizza will be ready soon. Literally, look at this. The plates, handcrafted, made fresh ingredients.
How did they edit that and go, yeah, this is great? Also notice how she asked him to cut things out and censor the dude's face, and he didn't, but I digress. Here's one more jarring cut for the road.
He told me that he got his master's in forensic pathology, so if he killed someone, he would know how to do it, get away with it. I didn't know what to do. I knew I couldn't be with him, but I was terrified to leave him. And I finally told my mom what's going on, and we made a plan. So,
oh my God, okay.
So our plan was.
Hey, before anybody digs in, I want to get a real overhead shot of this.
It's just comical at this point. Can you imagine if he had mixed Eugenia's story with him and his friends switching tags at Home Goods? Yikes. Number 11. Pissing off the Smiths. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this one, when one of Shane's distasteful and pointless jokes captured the attention of Will Smith's family. The video snippet in question features Shane and one of his colleagues pretending to pleasure themselves to posters of underage Justin Bieber and Willow Smith. And when this clip began to circulate during Shane's big cancellation, Willow Smith's family shared their disgust with the public. Her brother Jaden tweeted, quote, "I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Shane Dawson, I'm disgusted by you. You sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister. It's the furthest thing from funny and not okay in the slightest bit. This man was also doing blackface on the regular. As the youth, we need to support creators who support us and our morals. This is not okay." Then Willow's mother Jada tweeted, "To Shane Dawson, I'm done with the excuses. Sure, the Smith family has undoubtedly had their fair share of messiness, but this situation with Shane is completely outside all of that, and I'm treating it as its own separate entity. Willow is just a little girl, and Shane's joke is and always was disturbing and inexcusable." Number 12. Making out with pets. Yes, you unfortunately heard that right. Shane has collected many pets across his internet presence, and he's always shared them with his audience. You have Muffins, Snoop, Miley, Charlie, Chocolate, Corny, Uno, Cheeto, Honey, Mario, Riley, and 7 alpacas. There will damn sure be future listings regarding his pets. And fear not, we will get to the infamously horrific cat story further down the list, as that incident is so foul, it deserves its own segment entirely. But for now, let's just begin with an appetizer, shall we? Because this listing is just about Shane making out with pets. Guys, the shit that I've had to watch, download, and store onto my computer for this video, please show it some love, because this one not only fried my brain, but it has shattered my soul. There are far too many clips of Shane making out with pets online. Notice how I've just been saying pets and not his pets. Well, that's because Shane would even make out with his friends' pets. Here's him French kissing Joey Graceffa's husky, and here's him with Jenna Marble's greyhound. Not so fast. Perhaps it was just shock value Shane at it again, trying to garner attention for always being so wild and over the top. Well, let's take a look at this next clip, where Shane demonstrated how he had trained his dog Charlie to catch his spit in his mouth. I really wish this wasn't a thing. Here's another clip where Shane tells Lauren to do it.
Spit in his mouth.
You are disgusting.
Here's what I would like to point out here. After the cat story resurfaced and backlash from it, Shane said that he made it up, and only said those things for shock value. So if that's the case, then why would Lauren ask Shane this?
He loves it.
Do you do that on camera? Do people know that you do that?
I don't think so. I don't do that. That's gross. It's disgusting. It's abuse.
I mean, it's so sad. If they only knew the real you. I mean, I can't.
If they only knew the real you. Well, luckily, it looks like now we do. Number 13. Ghost hunting with Trevy Moran. This particular video has always stuck with me, and I'm honestly surprised that it is still on Shane's channel. Overall, it appears to be merely 2 YouTubers collaborating and taking part in spooky shenanigans. However, there are parts in it that make me very uncomfortable, and not only did Shane gloss over them in the moment, but he also chose to keep them in the video during the editing process. Trevy Moran is a musician, YouTuber, and former member of the popular YouTube channel O2L. She has been on the platform for years. Now for backstory, Trevy has transitioned since this video in question, and I will be using the name Trevy for consistency. Trevy had just turned 17, was still presenting as a boy, and went by Trevor. Shane was 27 here. The theming of this video is just scary, silly fun, but there are moments in it where Trevy is clearly very uncomfortable, and at one point even has some sort of episode. Rather than explain them to you, I'm just going to show you these clips so you can see for yourselves.
I really don't like the idea of this.
Well, we're doing it.
Are you fucking stop?
We're doing it. Okay, face the mirror.
I don't like the strangling part.
It's not going to strangle you.
Okay.
Okay. So that's...
Wait, it's not going to be on?
No.
What the Shane?
It has to be dark. Okay. So let's close our eyes and you say Bloody Mary 3 times and then we open
such bad anxiety right now. Ah! What the if I start like telling stop breathing, my inhaler's in my pocket.
Okay. Really serious. Bloody Mary.
Please, and like don't scare me either. I won't scare you.
I won't scare you either.
For like Bloody Mary, like we did it twice. Like what do you want to do to like
What? Are you gonna die? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? Are you gonna throw up? Are you gonna die? What? What? Ew! Ew! I don't like it. Are you having a panic attack? An asthma attack? I don't know what to do. Do I give you your inhaler? What? Did you just come? Why are you crying?
Oh no.
What are you doing?
I just got really sad.
Do you think it's the ghost from earlier?
I don't know. I just got like really emotionally triggered. I don't know. Let's just continue.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Shane did say at one point that if Trevy was uncomfortable, they could stop, but they continued. Overall, it's just awkward and disturbing to look back on, and those particular moments just give me a bad feeling. Number 14. Being a horrible friend. If you've followed Shane for as long as I have, you've probably noticed that his friend groups change almost entirely every few years. Perhaps this is just a normal part of life, especially within the Hollywood/YouTube sphere. People come and people go. And to be fair, collaborating with Shane Dawson was guaranteed success, so it is certainly possible that people would frequently use him to help their own careers. However, there have been a handful of Shane's former friends who have decided to leave him behind and speak out with accusations of mistreatment. Trisha Paytas and Onision are two of the most high-profile ones, but I will save them for later. In this listing, I want to focus on Quadir and Bree. Quadir, a singer who was known for his sassy comedic rants, was another longtime YouTuber who Shane was always a fan of, and the two became close friends around 2012, to the point where Quadir was in Shane's vlogs periodically, and even staying at Shane's mom's house. And Bree Esrig, at the time, was an actress and the girlfriend of Shane's other friend and YouTube personality, Steve Green. And Bree had quite a few prominent roles in Shane's videos. Eventually, both of these friends stopped appearing on Shane's channels altogether, but no one was sure as to why. Until Shane's 2020 cancellation, that is, when the floodgates burst open. On June 27, 2020, Bree tweeted that Shane was always racist and incredibly manipulative, that he has a way of making you feel special face to face, but was simultaneously talking about you behind your back, saying that he consistently made everyone in the friend group turn on each other with his lies. She went on to say that he ruined her life at the time, because he got all of her friends to turn on her when she needed them most. Quadir then spoke out about Shane in 2 live streams. He began by clarifying that he didn't speak up sooner because it would have brought up accusations of using Shane's name for views. But now that everything was surfacing, it was time to get his side of the story out there. According to Quadir, when he and Shane started becoming close friends, Shauna seemed intimidated at first, but warmed up to him more over time. Well, it turns out, Shane was allegedly intending on replacing Shauna with Quadir, because according to Quadir, quote, "She's fat and she's ugly, you're cute, you're gay, and you're actually funny, and you can sing," unquote. I suppose in Shane's sick mind, he only has one spot open for a token black side character that he can constantly use as the butt of every joke. However, Quadir was not interested in acting like a complete stereotype, painting his face white and dressing like Aunt Jemima and slathering himself in butter like Shauna would do for him. Quadir would stand up for himself and call Shane out if need be. He even tried to warn Shauna of Shane's plan after this, but she continued to defend him. There was also a tension between Quadir and Shane's mom rising in her home, as Teresa and Shauna decided to confront Quadir one day about going to get a drink with his friend on his birthday, instead of cleaning up Shane's filming mess. I'm really hoping it wasn't the maple syrup from the Aunt Jemima skit. Ultimately, Quadir had to move out, claiming that Teresa is batshit crazy and needs to be medicated. After this, he slept on Bree's couch for a bit, and Bree informed him that Shane was going around Hollywood with a vendetta against him, and was out to ruin Quadir's name in LA. Quadir was mad that Bree was still even in Shane's circle knowing the things that he was doing, but she claimed she was trying to back off. He also said some other things that are irrelevant to this listing and a bit messy, but I found them kind of interesting, so I will just let him take it away.
He needs lackeys. And I feel like he pretends like he wants real friends, but he doesn't, because I offered you real friendship. That's why I wasn't trying to be off in your videos, because number one, I'm not going to let you pour syrup on me. I have dignity, bitch, and this is not my act. You know that. And you act like you want it to be normal, like you wanted friends who didn't want to use you, because that's how he felt. Oh, everybody wants to use me. Everybody wants something from me. But your mom is a user too. You realize that. No shade. Because the way she got so upset when you and Lisa went to New York, and then she pulled out your whole budget book and showed me all your finances and was like, oh, she's using him. She has him buying vacations and flights, first class. This is outrageous. But yet you're living in this big ass house with all these dogs and all these burritos and sour cream, bitch, watching the housewives, not paying the damn bill, bitch. So this is his girlfriend. He can take care of both of y'all. And he don't even like her, so you may as well let her get a flight out of this if she's gonna be his beard. So first class flight seemed like a small price to pay for a bitch that is sleeping with a gay man.
But I digress. Anyway, after that live stream, Bree made another statement apologizing to Quadir and let it be known that she was ashamed of her friendship with Shane, that he was an actual monster, that he would ruin the lives and reputations of people that no longer suited him, and that he would say so many nasty and horrifically racist things about people, including his brother's fiancée, who I'm assuming is Sandy. And if Shane was ever properly called out about it, he would blame his childhood trauma as to why he was the way he was, also using the excuse that his audience was primarily people of color and they just loved it. And after Bree chose to walk away, Shane said in a vlog that she was mentally unstable, so he chose to cut ties, which led to members of his audience relentlessly bullying her, doxing her, and threatening to and her. Both Bree and Quadir claim that they tried giving Shane a chance to change, but it was just a mistake and a waste of their time. Shauna, to this day, has never spoken poorly of Shane, as he even kept paying for her phone bill and whatnot, but the two don't seem to be friends anymore, and she has kept a pretty low profile in recent years. Although Shauna was an adult and consented to everything she ever did on Shane's channel, regardless, the things Shane asked this woman to do are despicable. That's an entire listing in itself, and it's coming. Number 15. Belittling Garrett Watts. I'm sure you all know who Garrett Watts is, but just in case, let me provide you with some backstory. Garrett and Shane actually met on Tinder, and after a couple of awkward dates, the two decided that they were much better off as friends. Garrett made Vines at the time, but migrated over to YouTube and began helping Shane a lot with his videos. The Spooky Boys trio of 2017 was one of my favorite things to watch at the time. Shane's feelings towards his content around this time were rather stale, so Garrett introduced him to his good friend Andrew, who was a cameraman as well as an excellent video editor. This is where Shane branched off into what is arguably his greatest YouTube era, where he was overall highly praised, leaving the tacky, offensive sketches and embarrassing food videos behind, and making what appeared to be videos of actual substance. Shane even admitted that Andrew is ultimately the one who helped him cross over into the documentary-style entertainment. Side note, Andrew is also the one who came up with the design for the conspiracy palette, but we will get into the makeup nonsense later on. Anyway, Garrett was an incredibly well-received side character, and he and Shane made some enjoyable content. Shane said that when he met Garrett, he knew that he was going to be his friend forever. The two announced in 2017 that they were embarking on new ventures together as business partners, and even bought a new office space. Over time, though, Shane acting annoyed with Garrett became an ongoing bit. It began with Shane rolling his eyes at Harry Potter references, but evolved into Shane throwing things at him, and even asking Kathy Griffin to throw things at him, to which she did. How lovely. A couple uncomfortable moments in particular stand out to me, like the time Garrett simply thought that they were filming a makeover video, but at the end of that shoot, Shane told him that he had set up a blind date for him and that he was going to be there in 10 minutes. You could just see the fear in Garrett's face, and he was even shaking. He then did the same thing to Andrew with his massive crush Megan Batoon, and even Morgan and her crush Josh Peck. I understand that it is for entertainment, but can you imagine if someone threw something like this at Shane? He would be pissed. Let's also revisit the time he completely threw Garrett under the bus in Texas while filming Shane's Graveyard Girl series. While the crew was ghost hunting in Uncommon Objects, a thrift store said to be filled with strange and haunted items, Shane told Garrett that he wanted him to scare Bunny, saying, "You better go scare the f*** out of her. My goal is to scare Bunny." Then, when Garrett did scare Bunny a little later in the video, and Bunny got really upset, despite her also trying to prank everyone else prior, Shane looked so appalled at Garrett and just threw him right under the bus, saying he didn't know he was going to do that, and he was worried that it broke his trust with Bunny and his plans for his series. He made Garrett feel like total shit for it. Anyway, whether it was for comedic effect or not, Shane's demeanor toward Garrett in the videos just became uncomfortable at times. But Garrett continued to stand by Shane, and even defend him when the cat story resurfaced. But not long after, both Garrett and Andrew cut off all ties to Shane and his family entirely, and just began making their own ghost hunting videos on Garrett's channel. There were never any official statements made, but there were some tweets that viewers took as a trail of breadcrumbs. Morgan spoke out a bit at the end of 2023, saying that while she was having the time of her life in that group, there was a divide that she wasn't aware of between Shane and Ryland and Garrett and Andrew. And when Garrett and Andrew cut all ties, they ghosted Morgan as well, with no explanation or even a goodbye. Despite being heartbroken over the situation, she expressed her feelings in a very mature and respectful manner, not once saying anything negative about anyone involved. Number 16. Kissing Jeffree Star's ass. Shane has had a handful of questionable friends throughout his fame, and some of them he remains close with to this day. Perhaps the most notorious problematic pal would be Jeffree Star. After 2014, Jeffree was on top of the world, having just launched Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And in the years following, the company became massively popular, with every new release of high-quality lip colors, pigmented eyeshadow palettes, stylish mirrors, and more. Jeffree would feature every new release on his YouTube channel, as well as honest reviews of other makeup brands, and fun makeup challenges that made him entertaining to watch. But prior to all of this success, Jeffree Star was a makeup artist, a media personality with MySpace fame, and even a musician and performer. But the music career came to a screeching halt, and Jeffree had to start over. With Jeffree Star Cosmetics becoming a multi-million-dollar company, his rags to riches story served as another trait that made him appealing and inspiring. However, the majority of us did not know much about his past and the things that he has done in it. And when you take a closer look, it's not pretty, as it includes using the N-word and saying nasty remarks about skin tones, saying very degrading things about women, filming and ridiculing intoxicated people that he had just slept with, continuing to be friends with Davi Vanity so he can go on tour with him, knowing he is a confirmed predator, assaulting a fan who apparently touched his crotch at a concert, while he has been caught doing the same thing to other people, and throwing hush money at the various SA charges against him. And those are just naming a few. He has made apology videos that seemed sincere enough, all to just continue on with that same mean girl behavior as a nearly 40-year-old man. Like Shane, he will act like Eugenia Cooney's bestie, and she will praise him and his makeup, all to turn around and joke about her 5150. And like Eugenia, he is on TikTok Live a lot nowadays. I still can't wrap my head around why they need money from TikTok, but I digress. But in these streams, Jeffree is unnecessarily rude and disrespectful to viewers. Jeffree even treated Trisha Paytas like crap on a trip to Vegas, bullying her like a high schooler, and even throwing one of her expensive handbags in the trash. Shane, who was claiming to be Trisha's close friend at the time, didn't say a word. In fact, he and Ryland ended up siding with Jeffree and ultimately throwing Trisha under the bus. These things tell me, and many others, that Jeffree has certainly not changed. He's just a millionaire now. And Shane, who never showed any interest in makeup before, saw an opportunity to make millions. And he did just that. Number 17. Treating Lauren Schnipper like trash. In 2011, Shane began working alongside producer Lauren Schnipper. She served as his head of production, as well as his original co-host for his podcast, Shane and Friends. The two seemed to initially get along very well, as Lauren was able to handle Shane's humor. The problem with that was, Shane took that as an invitation to get more and more offensive. It became an ongoing bit where Shane would relentlessly joke about Lauren's appearance and she would just take it, which is rich coming from the grown man who cries whenever someone comments on his weight. Shane would begin reading comments from fans on the podcast and was particularly fond of the rude comments about Lauren. Then Shane's army of impressionables would keep at it, knowing that bullying Lauren was now a way to get Shane's attention. This led to a portion of the group even posting anti-Semitic comments to the forums. And instead of Shane doing the right thing and telling them to refrain, Shane took the fan art from these gremlins and plastered it all over his fridge. Regardless of how offensive his words were, Shane would say them in a lighthearted, humorous tone, which didn't make them okay, but it gave him an excuse. However, on the chair, this is the first time his audience was able to see Shane without the mask, and he was, as Bree said, a literal monster.
I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Shane, stop it. You can't go. We have too much to do.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this. Do you not understand what I'm saying?
I
She
do.
says Facebook
No, I do.
stalking.
It's okay. It's okay.
Then why are you saying it's not okay if
Because
you say
she's saying it
twice?
so many times that
So we
it's
can
like.
only say it once?
So
then we either can say it or we can't.
No, that's
I don't
not-
Do you understand what she's saying?
It's
No, I don't either.
just
Okay.
just the
Let's
second
get to-
one, the line.
Let's get to acting notes and not like word notes.
You can't not say anything. I'm not going to sit here and just tell you like it's done. It's ready to go.
So we've been working our off on this for your note. They're gonna roll the tape back. It's gonna go back to him saying that the first 25 minutes doesn't work because Tori's not in it, and gonna go to me saying I think that I want to do it this way. That was the first note you went into. Was the one that you knew they were gonna use.
No, I don't, Shane, because I'm not thinking about the TV show.
Shane would act that way numerous times on set, and then gaslight everyone in the room afterward. And Lauren was always his nearest punching bag. Although she was offering very valuable and professional advice to him that he really should have taken because his film was absolute garbage, he just got offended with everything she said. Luckily, after this shit show and Shane winning the money, of course, Lauren stepped away from Shane, allegedly to start a family. But I can't help but wonder if she just couldn't take it anymore, because I sure as hell wouldn't be able to take that for very long. Number 18. Being unable to take criticism. In regards to his YouTube videos, Shane never took criticism well. Every video he put out was his favorite one yet, and he was always so proud of himself. And the young, influential, incredibly defensive audience he had at the time just kept stroking his ego. But when Shane was unfairly given the opportunity to make a feature film, it got even worse. In 2014, Shane competed on the Starz reality show called The Chair. This series chronicled two first-time directors who were given the opportunity to create two separate films based upon the same script. Viewers would then watch both films and vote on which one they preferred, and the winning prize was $250,000. Shane states in the trailer for this show that his YouTube persona is a character, because in real life, he is not confident. Well, I agree with the character part, but more likely because Shane in person is an asshole. Shane didn't want to hear anything from anyone if it wasn't pure ass-kissing and praise. He would comment on how his opponent's movie was more of a drama, but his was special because it was a full-blown comedy and so crazy and outside the box. When Lauren simply suggested, hey, perhaps we should take out the homeless black man eating his own excrement, Shane threw a total fit over it, as if removing that element was destroying his Oscar-worthy masterpiece and God's gift to cinema. After the test audience watched it and had some critiques, Shane didn't want to hear any of them. All he wanted was applause. And one of the reasons he acted this way, in my opinion, is because he knew he was going to win regardless. He had a massive following and his opponent did not. It was an unfair advantage from the start, and I don't even know why the show allowed him to compete in the first place. Shane relentlessly denied this advantage though, and claimed that he won fair and square because he made the better movie. Number 19. Not cool. Let's complete this trilogy of back-to-back listings regarding the chair with the actual winning film itself. Spoiler alert, not cool is rotting hot garbage. But let's dive into exactly why that is. Despite Shane having a massive group of supporters both online and on set, and despite casting talented people to act in his film, most notably his friend Dawson, it was not enough to save this film from its inevitable fiery doom. For starters, just because someone makes YouTube videos does not mean that they can make a movie. Shane does have some talent, and his videos at this point were very expensive, well edited, and of high production value. He was frequently collaborating with his close friends and internet directors, like Tony Valenzuela of Black Box TV and Michael Gallagher of Totally Sketch, who, come to think of it, has a pretty crappy portfolio himself, but hey, he had all the expensive equipment. Anyway, with his friends' help, Shane was uploading a lot of short films to his channel, and he was often experimenting with mixing comedy and horror. However, the production value was the only impressive part of these videos. And in turn, Not Cool felt like just another Shane Dawson TV video, rather than a feature film where you would expect him to take things up a few notches and take it far more seriously. Shane even donned his shitty wigs and decided to cameo multiple characters he played on his YouTube channel in this film, which, if you're going to even attempt something like that, you at least need the help of a top-tier hair and makeup team to make these characters somewhat believable. But nah, Shane just slapped some lipstick on like he was filming a YouTube video and yelled action. Also, if Shane is so insecure like he says, why would he cast himself as the lead role of the cool heartthrob named Scott? Because he knew his young audience would eat that shit up. And for someone who hates his body so much, he sure pulls his pants down a lot in this movie. I digress. Shane's comedic acting has always been fine, but his serious acting has always been kinda mediocre. The climax of this film involved Shane's love interest walking in on Shane's glory hole ex f***ing him, so the lead girl thought they were hooking up. And then, to prove that Scott wasn't an egotistical a-hole, he pulled out an electric razor and began shaving his head. This was supposed to make us emotional, because Shane thought his hair was so iconic, and him shaving his head for this movie would show how passionate he was about making it. The last thing I want to point out, however, is by far the most disturbing aspect of Shane's film. Like I mentioned in the last listing, Shane knew that he had an unfair advantage, but didn't care. And Shane also knew that his YouTube audience, composed primarily of children, was going to be this film's core audience. Because, let's face it, no adult in their right mind would give this film more than a passing glance. Shane even said himself when being interviewed by Larry King that his audience is primarily 12 to 18-year-olds, with a higher percentage of girls. Now this is important, because knowing all of this, why on God's green earth would Shane want to put a bare in this film? You heard that right, there is a in this movie, as well as Shane's bare ass. I don't care if it's only on screen for a short period. I don't care if it's done in a comedic fashion. There is something incredibly disturbing about Shane wanting to put these scenes in the film knowing his child audience was going to be watching it. I'm just going to put the IMDb Parents Guide on the screen so you can get an idea, as I do not wish to describe every raunchy scene in this movie. But you have self-pleasuring jokes, bathroom humor, adult dolls, glory holes, and that same homeless character who was eating his own crap was the one who Shane wanted to expose himself. It just really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Number 20. Terrifying Taylor Swift. Nearing the end of 2014, Shane decided to wow his audience with a parody of Blank Space by Taylor Swift. Shane had made dozens of music video parodies at this point, but with this one, he really wanted to step things up a notch. For one, the production value is clearly very high, as Shane had Michael Gallagher direct for him once again, and they filmed it in a massive LA mansion. Shane was also really trying to step up his shock value around this time, hence his 50 Shades of Grey parody that left us all scarred for life. As for Blank Space, he wanted to include some crazy plot twists that would really catch his audience off guard. Well, it worked, and it went way too far. The parody began with Lisa introducing Taylor Swift to a very skeptical Shane, but after giving her music a chance, he began to develop a creepy obsession with the singer. It depicted Shane thinking about Swift while pleasuring himself in the shower and while in bed with Lisa. Then, because Lisa was in the way of his newfound fantasy, Shane decided to repeatedly smash her head in with a large hand weight. That part goes on for almost 30 seconds, and I can only show it heavily censored because it was so unnecessarily gory. Then, Shane took out Taylor Swift's security guard as well, broke into her mansion, forced her to kiss him, and because he felt nothing from it, he took Taylor out in the same way he did Lisa, and the video ended with Shane wearing her skin, Leatherface style. Now, I see what he was going for. Shane ultimately wants to create horror films, and deliberately wanted this video to descend into madness, but it was not suited for his young audience at the time, and he knew that. It also wasn't suited for the real Taylor Swift, who did not find it funny or brilliant at all. In fact, she was genuinely disturbed by it, and her team had the video taken down and asked him to at least cut out the violent portions. Taylor has had many stalkers, but earlier that same year, she filed a restraining order against one named Timothy Sweet, who thought he was destined to be with her, went to 2 of her houses in 2 different states, and threatened to take out anyone who got in his way of getting to her. But instead of apologizing to Taylor, or anyone else who thought he took it way too far, as Shane does best, he victimized himself in a video called Banned from YouTube, where he told his audience of gullible adolescents that he was going to fight this with their help, because the insanely violent portions of the video are what, quote, made it great. Shane went on to demand that his SD army sound off on Twitter, to YouTube, to Sony, even to Taylor Swift herself, as Shane saw no problem with the video at all, and was confused as to why Taylor wouldn't like it.
It was too gross. It's too violent. It was just like, ew. And you know what I'm gonna do, motherfucker? I'm gonna fight that. And I have you guys behind me. This is America, bitch. Tweet Taylor Swift and say, hey Taylor, what happened? Did you not like the video? I don't understand.
Gee, perhaps it has something to do with your video depicting her in distress, running from a psychotic stalker in her home who is trying to and her. Shane then threatened to sue, and the video was put back up a few days later, but now with an age restriction. Shane gleefully commented below the video, telling his viewers to film and upload their reactions to the video, likely just to try to get it trending because it was age restricted. But alas, despite getting what he wanted, Shane seemingly continued to carry disdain for Taylor, even saying that he would punch her in the head during that same Hey Queen interview.
She is the one celebrity who I would punch in the head.
Really?
If I was given like a card, like here you can punch any person in the head and not get in trouble for it, I would punch her through the head. Like,
tell us again, Shane, how you are an empath and how you are always the victim. Personally, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I listen to Typo Negative and AFI all day, but you don't need to be a Swiftie to think that this was too far. And for the love of God, he could have at least apologized for the insanely graphic scenes without warning that disturbed so many people. At least put a damn disclaimer or something. Of course, it is still up on his channel if you are over 18 and want to see how bad it is for yourself. However, it's important to note that after his cancellation and mass deletion of evidence, Shane only kept up the videos on his Shane Dawson TV channel that he was especially proud of. Guys, this is only the tip of the iceberg, and as disturbing as this series can get, I think it is very important. Thank you so much for supporting my small channel and helping it grow, and please know that I appreciate the support and kind comments so very much. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.